What's happening with Deion Sanders at Colorado? You see the question on the screen there. What's the deal with Deion in Colorado right now? It seems like Colorado is going to have another year to forget. The screen's small. I can't see it. Basically, they're saying, well, is Colorado going to implode this year? I'm not ready to say that, but I'm noticing what you guys are noticing. All right, so earlier today, I think it was today, Deion was talking to the media, and they were asking him about all the transfer portal exits. And they've had several guys hop in the portal, and that's going to be the case with Colorado every year they employ this strategy. They're going to have a lot of guys come in. They're going to have a lot of guys go out. So Deion, I'm not paraphrasing all this. I don't have the quote in front of me, but Deion basically said in his press conference, you haven't been paying attention in practice, right? Who have we lost? Who have we really lost? And what he was implying was we haven't lost difference makers. We've lost guys who we could afford to lose or who we may even have wanted to hit the exit door. I personally, that's not the way I look at it, but it's his roster. It's not my roster. But he did say, we're good. I trust our recruiting team. I trust our coaches. Please have some faith in me. We're good. We're all right. So there's no alarm being sounded publicly by the head coach there at Colorado. And in his own words there, that was a quote, in his own words, they're good. They're all right. I've avoided the whole knee-jerk thing with Colorado. I think there's some revisionist history on that because I think when they started to garner a ton of attention, like many other people who cover college football, I talked about it a lot on the show. My basic message the entirety of September is this is pretty incredible to watch because I didn't even think they beat TCU, So when they beat TCU, that's pretty incredible. I mean, that's a legitimate story. I thought it was the biggest story in September in college football last year. None of that had anything to do with what my record prediction was for them. A lot of folks went far enough to change their record predictions and started talking about how they may be able to win the Pac-12, rest in peace, old girl, and how they may be a fringe playoff team, and that was nonsense. Those people were not nonsensical people. I think some people who were otherwise very smart just got caught up in that wave of Deion hype, the Deion tax, if you will. And so I avoided the knee-jerk there. I don't always, but I avoided it there. I'm going to avoid it here, too. I'm not ready to say this season's going to be a disaster because there'll be time for that. If I think they're going to go 3-9, I got time to predict that. But God did not create April for us to start predicting teams to go 3-9. Well, he didn't make it for me to predict it. But I do have some fundamental beliefs about how I think this sport works, okay? I got fundamental beliefs about how winning happens in college football, and one of those fundamental beliefs is you will never build a sustained winning program through the portal. You will not. You can use the portal to supplement. You can use the portal as a jump starter, like I think Mike Norvell in Florida State brilliantly did. You can use it to backfill. You can use it to add cherries on top, but the sundae better be made through the portal. You can add all the things onto the house you want. The house better be built. The foundation better be laid, not through the portal, but through traditional high school recruiting. So in a way, nothing's changed there. You just have some more talent acquisition mechanisms afforded to you, which may lead some of my Clemson fans to say, well, if you believe that, why do you harp so much on Dabo's unwillingness to use the portal? Because I think it is valuable. It's a valuable asset at your disposal. It's a tool. It's a resource. Like I said, you can jumpstart. You can backfill. You can address a specific glaring need. You can supplement. You just don't use it to build. Deion Sanders is taking a different approach. He thinks what I'm saying does not apply. That is not his philosophy. He and I don't share the same belief on this, apparently. He believes that you can do this thing, and modern college football will let you do this through the portal. I don't believe that. I've been driving around Florida all week. You will never drive through Florida without interstate construction somewhere. But at least when those projects are going on, you got to temporarily deviate lanes and whatnot. At least there's an end goal. Like at least eventually that interstate's going to be completed, only for another project to take effect for the next 10 years. But what they're doing is like that never stops. Like those temporary lanes, that's just the interstate. And hopefully it works out every single year. And I just don't think that's the way I could ever expect it to go down. And I'll tell you this too. Colorado just moved to the Big 12. And you may think to yourself, ooh, if they just load up a roster, the Big 12 is very winnable. Well, the Big 12 is winnable in a sense that it's competitively balanced. And the Big 12 is winnable in a sense that, hey, it feels like 8 or 9 teams any given year could win that thing. But if you think you're about to portal your way to overwhelming consistent success in the Big 12 through the portal, you got another thing coming, man. The Big 12 is not the land of 5-star recruiting giants. The Big 12 is the land of evaluation, development, culture, and bringing kids in a class and watching them grow 3 and 4 years together and then winning 3 or 4 years after they enrolled. And man, I don't care how many of them were 4 and 5 stars. Most of them weren't. But I'm telling you, if you watch Kansas State play, Utah's in that conference now. Watch Iowa State any given year. Watch TCU any given year. They may have their 5 and 7s as well. But any given Saturday, when you're facing those teams, man, you got to beat them. It's tough. They're like little bowling balls, but they're programs in that they just roll right at you. They're very tightly compacted because they're made of the right stuff. It doesn't mean they're going to pump kids into the first round of the NFL draft, but they're made of the right stuff. In a classical sense, it's exactly what football teams should look like. If you're old school, the Big 12 is your conference. That's exactly what they should look like. Colorado doesn't look like that. Are you going to portal guys in and magically snap your fingers, and in a few months that becomes a team that's ready to beat a lot of 4th and 5th year program guys every single year? Because what's the goal at Colorado? The goal is not to make a bowl. That's not how they're talking. They're talking about playoff out there. So Colorado or anyone else, point blank, you could try this in the SEC for all I care. You are not portaling your way to being a consistent playoff contending program. I don't believe that. I don't believe it'll ever be the case.